boom, you gotta get to that.
Yeah.
You gotta open the path to luck, I guess is what we're trying to say.
Open that path to luck, baby.
Yeah.
That's the title of the episode. Opening your path to luck.
In 2
Sounds
minutes,
like in 2
carve them
minutes.
up.
Carve them up. Let's talk about carve them up. No. I was like, because I was thinking about TikTok, and I remember people saying before that TikTok is comparable to like Vine. Did you ever use Vine? Or even, you saw it anyway?
I had that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, what was it? It was something like at the peak of Vine's like success or popularity. Not success, because then it kind of just bombed out. It bombed out in like a year as well. But at the peak of it, it was at like 1.5 billion loops per day.
Jeebus.
Right? And so a Vine, so I did some quick maths to try and compare this to like where TikTok is at now. So a Vine is 6 seconds long, 1.5 billion loops per day. That's like 9.6 billion seconds, I think.
Okay.
160 million minutes or something around that. And TikTok is approximately like 15 seconds long.
Yeah.
Average user watches it for about 52 minutes daily. And there are 680 million people registered to TikTok. So I was like, right, okay. So like what, like roughly, I mean, not everyone's using it, like, but just imagine, close to it. So I was like, right, 15 seconds, 52 minutes on average. So I was like, 52 minutes times 52.
Vegan Bandit, thanks for the follow.
God damn it! Are you serious?
Wait, where is that? Twitch alerts. There you go.
Vegan Bandit, I'm having a word with you, mate. Your support is appreciated. I'm just gonna I'm gonna write his name real big letters just to write across the screen.
The maths.
Right, the maths, right. So 52 minutes on average per user. 52 times 60 to get how many seconds? You get 3,120 seconds. Divide that by 15 seconds, so you're getting how many TikToks it is. That's 208 TikToks per person watched a day. 680 million users. It's 141 billion, 440 million.
So basically, it's doing way better than Vine was at its peak.
Yeah, like, I mean, because the argument, what I'm saying that for is, Vine peaked and then Vine crashed out pretty hard.
Yeah.
And this TikTok changed from, I think it was called Musical.ly, like a couple of years back. And it was doing kind of well at that point. It was like a karaoke app or something. And
basically a lip sync app.
Like people are like, it's going to blow up and then it's going to crash out. I was like, I don't think it's going to crash out. If it is going to crash out, I don't think we're anywhere like near it. Like it's been going since 2017, really, as TikTok. Yeah. So like there's 3 years in the running and it's like mega. It's really, really mega.
Also, like the way I see it was that it's like I don't mind too much, or I don't like think about too much when it's gonna end. Like I'm not trying to project when like TikTok or whatever platform's gonna shut down, whether it's Twitch, whatever. You just hop on while it's alive.
Yeah,
if it dies,
ride
it dies.
The wave.
Whatever. Yeah,
well,
just ride the wave.
This is the other thing as well. Like there's no revenue scheme. Well, there kind of is. There's like coins or something, I think, with TikTok.
It's a live stream thing.
Yeah, but you have to live stream. You buy coins, give them to the streamer, then the streamer converts them to diamonds, and then they can use the diamonds to. It's like it's very convoluted. Like, and there's probably not that many people using it because people are just consuming TikTok rather than going. Like the whole point of TikTok is you can just. I mean, I sat this morning. I was up at like 5 a.m. and I was like, couldn't sleep, and I just was like, I'm gonna just sit and look at what TikTok is about. And I've probably hit that 52 minute average. Like I think I watched about TikToks this morning. I was sitting there for about an hour at least going through because you'll just skip it. You'll just keep skipping through and through because it's never ending.
Yeah. And it's always a completely different genre of a video. It's like you'll see like someone dancing out of nowhere. It's like a gaming video, and then it's like a super funny meme, and then like maybe a cringy video, and then it's but what's also nice about it is like what happened to Vine is that all these guys, all these talents, boys and girls, built their brand. Vine died, but they still brought that brand value or whatever you call it into other platforms, you know.
Yeah, they knew the migrate.
Yeah, and I think that's what you got to take advantage of with TikTok as creators and stuff.
100%, because there is no built-in revenue for TikTok, but the exposure itself can be converted into something that can, make you revenue, like help, your career big time, like in so many different ways. So you've got people who are like doing sponsors with TikTok, people who sell their TikTok accounts to like companies for brand deals and stuff. There's lots of different stuff. And then there's just people converting that over to YouTube or Instagram. But I think YouTube is like the more common one that people are converting over to. But like, obviously not everybody's doing it because like some of these people are not equipped to be content creators. It's kind of just their stuff is for TikTok, but they don't have any, savvy for production or like creating something bigger than that wee 15-second video.
Could be like I would say like maybe Facebook, as a platform. Because Facebook is it's rising and rising. I remember, I forgot where I heard this. I'm not sure if it's like I might have seen it on like a TikTok video or something, but someone said that Facebook is trying to go full 100% video in 2021.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know how true that is. You could probably Google that, but
I wouldn't be surprised
if ever that does happen. I guess they're trying to take the TikTok market.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's like the TikTok is so good right now, but I'm also thinking about like if ever they do like die out, it would probably because like something like Instagram or Facebook, it's like what Instagram did to Snapchat kind of thing.
Yeah.
So something like that might happen. But again, while it's hot, get it.
While it's hot, just get in there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, why not? Like, and like, as long as, to like try and figure out a way to migrate whatever you do on those platforms. It's like what you're doing on Instagram. It's the same thing. Only I think Instagram's not going to disappear anytime soon, I think. But you saying that Facebook is like pumping, work into like making Facebook, primarily like are strong in their video game. That's interesting because I kind of thought because Facebook bought Instagram, I thought that was going to be their competition to like TikTok. Because like you say, Snapchat's dead in the water now. Well, by comparison, it's down and out like near enough.
So I just checked Google about this whole Facebook going video. I think it's whether Zuckerberg or someone from Facebook said in 2016 that in 5 years Facebook's going to be full video. So that's why they're saying 2021 because 2016 plus 5.
Right, okay.
Maths.
We'll see. That's interesting.
Yeah, seems like it's.
What's the name of the China? Because TikTok's not originally called, like the Western version is like, like the English name for it is TikTok, but like it has a Chinese name. But like I was looking,
check it now.
And like the Chinese version, apparently this is going to roll out to like TikTok, the one we know as TikTok eventually, but they have a like kind of like live auction thing with their version where people can like stream live with a product and you can buy it while the stream is live. It's like, it's kind of like QVC, like a shop channel. Yeah.
It's an infomercial live on TikTok.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. It's not that new to be honest, but it seems to be highly popular.
So the Chinese version of TikTok has that extra feature?
Yeah.
So it's basically TikTok, right? But they have that extra feature. It's like a yeah.
Yeah, but apparently, well, there's no word, but it's supposed to be coming to TikTok on a global scale at some point. But I mean, you need to actually sit down and look at how different the Chinese app is versus, what we're using. It's probably quite different. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's I DM'd you about this, but Tori Pareno. I'm not sure I'm saying that name right. I hope I said it right, but she's a pretty big content creator. She's on Twitch, I believe. With
oh yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah, let me check. She has 37K followers on Twitch.
So you showed me that, and I went and looked her up, and I was looking at her on Sully-Gnome. You used that before?
Yeah. And, the numbers site.
Yeah, so like in the last month, she averages about 75 to 100 viewers, and she's got, as you say, like 36,000 followers.
Yeah,
but and like it's not a low sub count, but by comparison to like how much exposure she gets or how many people come into her community, she's like sub 200 subscribers. And I was like, and she has like a subscriber goal of like 200. And I was like, I skipped back 7 days, and the subscriber goal of 200 was like, had only moved up like 3 subs over a week.
Is she full time?
Like she was. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure she was streaming about 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah. So if for those of you guys listening right now to the podcast and watching, hello. But like this whole Tori Pereno thing, she tweeted on Twitter, obviously, that she is doing a full move from Twitch to TikTok, which is super cool. Like I found it super cool because I've been talking to Deef about TikTok behind the scenes. I'm like, dude, this app is going crazy, man. And I consume a lot of TikTok in the mornings when I wake up or in the evenings, and I'm so like, there's a part of me that's super happy for Tori, because it's like good for her, man. That she's like blowing up on TikTok. Yeah,
what's
she's taking
her
advantage
followers
of it.
On TikTok?
350,000, dude.
Like
350K, man. It's huge.
Does that not say more about
Numbers don't
how
lie.
the discoverability like on Twitch needs reworked? Like, it's so
definitely.
So much.
That's always the issue as a Twitch streamer, is discoverability, which is why, exactly like what I talked about in the last episode, is why I'm trying to bank on stuff like Instagram. Is because you just have to basically like as a Twitch streamer, specifically as a Twitch streamer, you have to find a way to get your name out there to sites where that people actually go to. Like, I mean, of course, Twitch has I don't know how many viewers a day, lots of viewers, but probably doesn't keep up with the numbers of something like YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah.
Just because everyone's on those platforms. Twitch is gamers, us gamers. We all know that it exists. I know people IRL who don't know what Twitch is. So yeah, definitely Twitch is. Yeah, it's always the hardest part of it. And TikTok. I don't know if for those of you who have not tried TikTok or don't have it on your phone yet. What's interesting about it is that it's not really like. It's not like Instagram's feed or Facebook's feed where you scroll down. It's a For You page. The For You page is legendary. It's super interesting, and it's a page that is basically catered to what you as a consumer of the app like, dislike, follow, and I guess engage with. So when you open TikTok and you're in your For You page, it's basically catered to what you're liking. So a lot of people always talk to me about like, I just want to go on TikTok because like the feed, you watch all these different videos that I want to see, but you can actually, based on what you like and dislike, you can actually change that. So for I've been using TikTok for a couple of months now. My TikTok For You page is pretty fun to watch nowadays. All these funny memes and whatever ideas I get from them. But it's interesting because it also it also the way TikTok is designed, it supports us creators who make content to post multiple times a day without seeming spammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I know like Instagram, you can be spammy because it's not chronological anymore, but some people do notice it. They're like, this guy's like posting too much. I'm gonna unfollow him, kind of thing. Yeah. TikTok, it allows you to just push out as much content as you can think of. You can post like 100 a day, and it's actually good for you on TikTok versus what it's like on other platforms.
I'm interested actually, about how you can be, as you say, like posting a lot in a day and not be spammy. And like that thing, you know, I have had people on Instagram where I'm like, I'm seeing too much of this guy. Like he's like, you know, like he's maybe not like, you know, 6 in a row, but I see him enough. I'm like, I'm that's enough. You're posting a wee bit too often. But like, you mentioned recently that one of your TikToks blew up. I think I looked at it yesterday or the other day, and it was like 27,000 or something. It was sitting there.
No, oh, okay. At views, views. So basically, what I messaged. So I have a video that is currently at 38.7 thousand. When I first showed you, it had 200 likes, and I was like, "These phones blowing up." And there's this video I posted. The one it went viral. It happened three days later. It's this video right here. It's me basically making, you know, I'm talking about streaming, how like I'll probably link it later.
We'll put it up here. I'll temporarily put it here, and you guys can watch it.
So basically it blew up. When I first showed Deef, it was 200 something likes. Now it's at 1,125 likes.
Oh my god.
And it's blowing up. Yeah, and it's almost the end. So my follower count as well is just like it's approaching 200. It's not as like others where there's probably 1,000 followers at this point, but it's still like me not posting much, and it's like passive followers over like every time I wake up, it's like another 10 followers, and it's pretty crazy.
It's interesting. It's like a delay thing, isn't it, as well? You were saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was telling Defrag in the DMs about this whole thing with TikTok about they always use this word delayed explosion or something like that, of how like don't delete any of your TikToks no matter how low or high the engagement is. Well, how low. If you feel like no one's liking it or something, don't delete it because it can always explode out of nowhere. Some people have reported of having a TikTok from a month ago blow up, and it just blew up their whole account to like 100,000 followers. Yeah. So it's super random because of how the app's designed, the whole For You page thing. So like if you keep liking stuff and, you know, consuming whatever, out of nowhere, you know, all these different likes, combinations of likes and follows that you're doing out of nowhere, I see your video, Defrag, because it kind of led me to that, you know? Yeah. So like when people always talk about like TikTok algorithm, of course I don't know much about it yet because I'm still new to it. I'm still trying to study it. But how I see it, it's like the algorithm it's just based on the consumer, you know, like just make your content and then hopefully one of it blows up, and it blew up for me, one of it. So yeah,
it's interesting. I really find it interesting. Like, I mean, I think they've got something, obviously they have something special, but like the delayed explosion or whatever it is called, like that for someone who is probably maybe used to, if they're posting something, they're used to a quicker kind of like response, or, you know, they kind of can gauge it a lot faster on other platforms. With TikTok, it's harder to tell initially because, like you say, you know, like that, like there's some people not seeing anything for like a month, and then it explodes out of nowhere, and it's like that lets you. Like, you can just keep going. If you want to, you can just, like, it's like how you were saying you triple down on Instagram. Like, people tripling down on TikTok, and they're just going and putting out stuff. And, like, I found some TikToks, and I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. I'd like it. And I click on their profile, and I watch a couple of other ones, and I was like, okay, this is their best one. Like, this one has taken off. Like, they haven't, you know, this is a home run, but the other ones are, you know, still batting practice. So, and then I would be like gauge at that, like how good that one was, whether I would follow them or not, you know, on their other stuff. So I imagine that's what people do. They like it, and then they go in to your profile. I mean, this is how I would do it anyway. I don't know. How would you, if you find a TikTok that you like, do you like it? Go in and check them out. Yeah. I feel that like, must be like the majority of people must follow that kind of procedure.
Then you check if like, if you want to follow them or not.
Yeah.
If they have like similar content, or is that just one thing and then they do different things?
Yeah.
So I did like a little experiment from like January. So what I did was I commented on a post that at that time was like trending. It was I could probably link it again, but it's basically this guy who like he's talking about like playing for hours with your headset and then you take it off and you have like that shape on your head. And when I first liked this video, it was at about probably like 10-20,000 last January. Right now it's about to hit 200K likes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's insane. And, so it just keeps growing. It's not like
it just keeps going. Yeah,
it doesn't topple off. It just keeps going.
It doesn't stop. Mm-hmm. So
that's
like
different
example,
as well. Like that's cool.
With my post, the one that went viral, it so first 3 days nothing. You know, it's like 20 likes or whatever, and then after that, that's when it went viral. I was like, holy crap, my phone's blowing up with likes and follows and whatever. Okay, so after like almost 24 hours, it died down. It died at like 300, 400 likes. I was like, okay, I guess that's it. 400 likes, we're good. And then another day of nothing. And then the next day, it goes boom, 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 boom. And then the next, it stops for a while, and then it blows up again. It's weird, man. It's interesting.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see behind the scenes how it all comes together. I was watching a guy recently. I watched him, and then I actually unsubscribed from him on YouTube because there's so many of his videos were coming through. I was like, I need to like maybe see a bit less of this guy because I wasn't watching them all, and some of them are just there's just too much going on. Like a guy Gary V. You heard of Gary V? Ask Gary V. He's I mean I don't know if he's like he is a smart guy but like I watch his channel and like like it makes sense what he's talking about. I'm wondering is everybody like sitting listening to this guy going, he knows what he's talking about because it just kind of spiraled, that enough people agreed that he knows what he's talking about, and maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does. I don't know, but like I can't really tell because a lot of his talk is kind of just like, I don't know. There's no like like steps or like hard like sort of examples going down. He's just kind of like he's just like spitballing a lot of the times, like, but like, I mean, he's involved in like, he does like a big social media campaigns for like, I think he was saying NFL Budweiser and stuff. Yeah. Like, so, obviously he has the experience, like, so I guess that's probably why he's generating a lot of, interest, but like, he's mad about TikTok. He's really mad about it. He's like, he was basically like, anything he talks about TikTok is like, double down, triple down, quadruple down on TikTok if you're like, even slightly interested in it. And just do one thing as well. He said the other day was do your personality. Don't be doing some bit that's like unnatural to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I guess that makes sense because he's then thinking, if you do stuff that's like like a funny meme that isn't something that you would usually do, that like is way out of your comfort zone. It's like appealing to like a different audience that you wouldn't usually stream or talk to. Then whenever you're trying to like transfer or like bring those people to Twitch or to YouTube, it's going to be difficult because you can't. That's too much of a conversion, you know what I mean? It's like, trying to move
to your main content,
moving a Fortnite gamer to Tarkov, it's too jarring an experience. Like, there has to be a comfort zone that they eventually grow from, Yeah. So it's interesting. His stuff is very good.
I've been following him for a bit, He's interesting. His ways are interesting. Yeah, he comes out strong a lot, and like if I think also like with Gary V's content, you have to have context of like his previous how he led to that as well. Yeah,
I didn't have that before, and I was just like, I don't know if I can.
Yeah, when you watch like single posts. Or like you see some of his content like at once, one time, and like, what the fuck is this guy saying? Yeah. But like in the long run, like when he kind of like expounds on it. But I do agree with the whole like you have to kind of be your own personality. But I think one thing with TikTok that I've seen as well. So I've been looking at looking at other gamers and just content creators in general. and I look at their main content. What I like about it is that it's such a new platform that you can try weird things. Like what you said, out of your comfort zone. You can try it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's fine. Yeah. And then if it works, then you might have found a new niche kind of thing. And just like the Tori Pareno, like it's so interesting how I don't know where she blew up on TikTok and decided that this might be for her.
Yeah.
Like you'll never know until like you do something and then see how it goes.
Yeah.
And but I think that's what's beautiful about TikTok is that you can be I think you can post content there that goes on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I think it's like a sandbox.
Yeah. I think it's a bold, like, I mean, she's obviously in a secure position that she can go, because she's like, what, 21 or something? Or she's pretty young. And she, you know, she has that security that she can try this out. Like, it's not a major risk, and she feels strongly enough about, you know, not leaving Twitch, because she says she's just going to use it or stream a lot less. But like, you know,
she is.
It's pretty close to leaving, you know, like she's like going from a full week of doing it to probably very, very little. Maybe the odd stream, maybe once a week or something like that.
She's turning 20.
She's turning 20. Man, it's crazy. Like, that's amazing. That's actually insane. Well, I guess as well, you know, like that brings me to like talking about age, you know, like the age of people using TikTok. Apparently, on average, the age is like 12 to 16, but like the online you'll get surveys that say 20, but I kind of think that's kids saying they're 18. It's bumping up the average a wee bit.
Yeah.
But then as well, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, no, so like we're too polite. You just need to interrupt me and just like be like, right, shut the fuck up, Dave.
Go ahead.
So like really young user base, right? Well, I mean, apart from us, definitely me. They don't have any revenue, so like you have a platform that has no way of really earning revenue with a user base going on. We'll say 3 years now. A user base going on 3 years. That people are then, you know, building up this fan base from these people who haven't yet, like, you know, got the money to support these creators, but they're coming to that point probably, and they're gonna, like, in the next year, 2 years, like they're gonna start, you know, being presumably, you know, working human beings, like, you know, making money.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the user base is young, but not so young that it's like impossible to change, you know, that community into a community that feels so strongly about the people that they follow on TikTok that they will, you know, want to financially support them. And I just feel like it's just right on like the tipping point for a lot of those people using TikTok around the world. So.
The way I see it, it's like I do get that perspective, but on the other side of things as well, it can indirectly, like, you know, just like the influence of like parents. Like you have your kids that they're just like, let's say defrag, they're raving about defrag every day, like, oh my god, defrag, I love defrag, man. Like all these, like, you know, kids from like 7 to like 17 years old, whatever, you know, just like
free mug,
they're just like begging for more defrag, you know. And you know, I feel like indirectly it does help, and also just like attention in general. Like, let's say an example would be like, I know it's a different whole thing because YouTube pays their YouTubers, but you know, perfect example, like the Minecraft content creators. You know, all my nephews, most of my nephews watch, my younger ones watch a lot of like that content and stuff. I feel like just like in general, just the attention, I think, is just already good enough, you know. Like imagine like 1 million kids watching my stream, but you know, none of them are subbing, example, but the fact that we have 1 million viewers will still somehow indirectly, you know, it'll happen.
It'll influence something.
Whether it's like a sponsor, I don't know. I haven't reached that point, but that's how I see it as well, is that I try not to overthink as well what, like, how old or whatever, at least as a streamer or a content creator. I know, like, I'm playing Tarkov, and maybe, you know, the the usual age for that is this and that, but also never know. I mean, who knows? Maybe kids out of nowhere are like Tarkov, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you'll never know as well. So,
and it's
I get that perspective, but
it's like 500 to 680 million people. So you know, like even if like a large amount of that is like, you know, younger, like even a small amount that is more like, you know, like in their 20s and playing Tarkov or whatever, you know, like that's still a really big amount, you know. Whatever you try and break down the numbers of what percentage they are to that whole user base, it's still a lot of people. Like
it's hard to like deny like just the amount of the volume of attention you get on a platform, you know. Because like that's the argument like that I hear a lot with, like, you know, whenever I talk about or any platform, whether TikTok or Instagram or something, is that even with Instagram, it's like when I first started posting there were people who would say stuff like, just go for YouTube. At least YouTube you get to monetize. You know, there's a monetization thing. Instagram you can't really convert that, but like for me, I was just after the attention. Just like I just need more eyes on the stream on me, because I want to know.
That's the money maker. Right there.
I want every single amount of.
I see how it is.
Every amount of attention. I just need it. Yeah.
Oh no! Not Jurassic Park.
Actually, you know what? I'm trying to think how to go back, because I'm thinking, what do I press? Okay.
I don't have the stream deck open, so I was like,
there we go.
Where do I go with this? Oh my god.
Yeah, even the way I zoomed in was wrong, but whatever.
Jesus.
I just want all your attention. Everyone listening, I want every single ounce of attention you guys have.
Really gotta be sure I don't hit the wrong buttons. I'm sorry. Jurassic Park, we are looking at a sponsorship deal. I don't know if you know, Jurassic Park want to hand out one of those, but you know, or just doing a handout you know, a takedown notice, because don't want that.
But yeah, speaking of like attention and stuff, like, that's one thing. Like at least like what I've been, the whole thing with like Instagram, and you know why I've been really focusing on it. It's just with like I try not to like nowadays. I try not to think of how to monetize. It's more of how do I get more eyes on the stream? More eyes and ears. Yeah. To get more influence, I guess is the word nowadays. Yeah, that's something I really try to focus on.
Bring them in and let them kind of marinate on what the channel is about and what you're trying to do. Because I mean, Twitch is your main, like that is your main hub, obviously, and you're trying to like, I mean, would you say your goal is to like bring people? You want to bring people into the community that are watching you on Twitch, not exclusively, but like, you know. It's like the way I kind of see it is everything else is like, you know, it's like smaller nets around the main, you know, the big
funnel,
net. Yeah. So it all funnels back into the Twitch channel, to the stream.
Yeah. That's like what I'm really trying to do. Because like, the amount of times like. I get the conversation with friends or you know, relatives or whoever about how like I should switch platforms to this platform because there's more money there or something like that, because this platform gives contracts straight up, you know, money up front kind of thing. It's like for me, it's like it's not really about the actual cash I have in hand. No, it's not about the cash. It's more of like, I'm trying to grow. It's a long-term thing. It's a marathon, not a sprint kind of thing. And I'm
absolutely.
Every time people ask me like, are you imagining that you'd be like 50 years old and streaming?
Don't know. Like, no idea.
Yeah, like right now it's like day to day, and the dream is to stream for the rest of my life. You know, quote unquote. I don't know how it's gonna what it'll lead to, but the idea is like, it's a long-term thing, and I'm not trying to make a shortcut buck kind of thing. And that's what as a content creator, it's all about like how much attention you can get, good attention, hopefully. Yeah. Not just random, you know.
And it all interests you anyway, you know. Like I mean, I know you're like, it's like it's on your brain all the time, and like you know, although yes, it's your vocation, and you know, it's how you make your money now. It's it's still like very much it gets you excited, you know. And it's like so like moving through all these different mediums and like trying these things out, whether they work, whether they don't work. It becomes like people who are saying, you know, well, you know, like looking for that quicker payoff. Just they're comparing it to another like structure of like a profession that just I don't think applies in this situation. Like I think it is, as you say, a marathon, not a sprint. Like it takes time, and you can't. Your success is built on a community, and you're building a community, and you're bringing people in to strengthen that community. And without that, like I mean, without that, any content creator is they're not anything. Like I mean, they may be good. Like you know, you can have the best technical skills and creativity out there, but if there's no one in your community and there's no support for it, it's a struggle. And at that point it's not really, you know, it's not a vocation, it's not a paying job, you know. It's you need to like see like far into the future how not how everything's going to work out, but just how significant slowly building this stuff is. Like you say, not trying to go for the quick buck. It's unrealistic if you're going for the quick buck. Like people who like go into streaming now, and like I know there's been so many conversations about this, but you'll get, if you go on like Twitch, Reddit, you know, it is disappointing to put it lightly, because a lot of it is repeated posts, and you'll get people on there asking, and even people in like other people like educators streams, like Alpha Gaming, Harris Heller, I think he is on Twitch. Like if you watch his YouTube channel, it's all great advice, you know, good tutorials, good sort of comparison reviews of gear and software and ways to do things and ways to think about building your channel, building your community. And he explains it all. Like if you watched like enough of his videos, you don't need to ask him a question really, because he's answered so much of it. But I still see people going into his channel and in the comments on videos that answer the question they're asking these questions like, you know, how can I, you know, make more revenue? And like people going, you know, like people on the Twitch Reddit going, you know, like my goal this year is to like, you know, get 100 subscribers. It's like, and then you got the other side of it, which is people going, don't stream for the money. And it's like, that does make sense. Like, I mean, that is the right mindset. Like if you're brand new to it, going into it, don't stream for the money, because that you're going in initially, like right away off the bat, you've started streaming for the wrong reasons. So you've like jaded the experience, you know, to go, I need to get 75 year average. I need to get 200 subs per month or something, you know, like you need to take these things. And it's because as well, the internet and just in general, like there's a lot of sort of like self-criticism and, you know, negative comparison where people will compare themselves to what other people have and what they don't have, but they don't understand that. And I think it's not I wouldn't say it's my generation, but I feel maybe younger generations are like they're standing at A, they're looking at B. Say you're B and you're a full-time streamer, you got a community, you're playing a game you love, you got a good production on your channel, all this stuff. They're standing there going, I want that. But they're not seeing the path to get that. They're not seeing how long it's taken for you to get to where you are right now. Everyone just kind of wants it. You know, they can pay for it, but they can't pay for it. You can't buy that stuff. It's not as you say, like it's not something you can put the money down and just, you know, buy a community.
Yeah. And I think it's like thinking about like what you mentioned, like a generational thing. I think it's just in general, because like I mean, there are people like whatever generation, like whichever generation. Sorry, is what I'm trying to say. It's like example is sports. You know how like everyone craps on athletes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you suck, but you know you don't see the path. Like,
you get out there.
someone always thinks that they can do better than the athlete, whether it's boxers, MMA fighters, basketball players. It's like, oh man, you suck. I could do that. You know, I could shoot threes too.
Yeah.
I think it's like, people don't see like that next level, and I think it's like, I get your idea though. And going back to like you know, the whole like TikTok thing and stuff. I think that's like what we're trying to get to as well. It's like with all this work you have to put in, especially as a creator, whether you're a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, or even just an entrepreneur in general, you really need, like, it's all about just awareness of who you are, of what you are, who you are, what you do. You really got to take advantage of all these channels, man. That's something I realized late too. Like, you know, I mean, not late. I've only been streaming for 3 years, but you know, it's something I always thought to myself, I wish I knew that like since 2018. I could have been just kept building, but you know, I don't regret it at all. Definitely something that, you know, you gotta put the work in. Period. There's no shortcut.
There is no shortcut at all. There can be a lucky break, but I mean, don't be banking on that kind of thing. Even
the lucky break is not a shortcut.
No,
you know?
It's a chance. It's an opportunity to, like, you know, you still have to double down at that point.
Yeah, you still have to be at a certain level to get that luck. You know, you can't just be nothing and then out of nowhere do your first thing and boom, you gotta get to that.
Yeah,
you gotta open the path to luck, I guess is what we're trying to say.
Open that path to luck, baby.
Yeah,
that's the title of the episode. Ramen's Guide to Opening Your Path to Luck.
In 2 minutes,
like,
carve him up.
Carve him up. Let's talk about carve him up. No,
he's
gonna message us and be like, God damn it, please stop.
I mean, hopscotch, by the way.
Hopscotch. Oh yeah.
Oh goodness.
Everyone's just gonna be saying hopscotch like in every episode, and then we'll change it and we'll mess with it.
Yeah, we should keep it at hopscotch.
Yeah.
Randomly change it. Yeah.
I don't like, if you haven't seen the end of the first episode, because you're a scumbag, by the way, because you should have watched all of it and all the highlights. Even though the highlights are from the episode, you should have watched them regardless. Yep. We used a code word at the end of the episode to see who watched to the very end, and it was hopscotch. Yeah. So
and no one got it. No.
I think there was a couple of people who got it. There was like maybe
not
two.
A single soul.
Not a single. Nobody got it.
A handful of them. I know.
Scumbags.
Just a couple shout outs. Carve them up. Yeah, carve them up. Aloha Hustler.
Aloha. Yeah.
Trying to think. Yeah.
Shoot. I think Elmo McDee. I think he got it as
Elmo.
well.
Yes, Elmo. Thank you, Elmo. But yeah, everyone else, we still love you though.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of other ones, but I'm not going to shout you out. I'm going to make you feel bad. Make you think I forgot about you. But I haven't forgot about you. I'm just not going to shout you out. Piece of shit. Okay, so what shall we? Right, so we've covered carve 'em up.
We've covered
them. We're not talking. There's it's the same his ASCII ban in his channel. We're doing a carve 'em up ban. There's a embargo on any carve 'em up related topics for the rest of the episode.
Such a good meme. But yeah, I think at least I think that's one thing as well, like that I would like to share with whether it's aspiring creators or people trying to grow. I'm in there are a lot more people who are doing way better than me as a streamer, but if there's one thing I can share to whoever I've reached today, it's that you just gotta try things, man. Gotta try as many things as you can, fail at it, suck at it, but keep going. Keep getting your butt kicked.
It's tried and tested, isn't it? Like, so many people have said it, like, just go out and make mistakes, and I think people still need to hear it. I think people constantly need to hear it. Like, I feel like we'll probably say this stuff again because I don't know. It's like, I mean, us as human beings, we just don't always absorb this. I think as well, that kind of advice is great advice, but sometimes people won't take it in until they see there's some visual kind of like, moment that they connect that advice with something they've seen and be like, right, that's what it is. Let's go make mistakes. Let's go try stuff out that we're like not sure about and just, you know, get off it, like, because it's never going to be the end of the world, like, so especially not at any of our stages of our careers, like, so
the hardest part is always starting anyway.
Yeah.
Well, once you start on something, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it's not a streaming thing. Every single thing, whether it's fitness or YouTube, even just getting a corporate job, you know, straight off of graduation, you know, college, whatever, university.
Yeah.
You just gotta do it. You gotta jump into it, see what happens, and, you know, ride the waves.
Talking about fitness. I'm like acutely aware of like how little exercise and how not bad, but like not great my diet is. And like I don't eat a lot of meat, but like I've been trying to start doing exercise, so I'm going for like short like jogs around the block in the evening. Not every night, just every other night. And I hate running. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
But like that's always been my like put off. I've always been just like, you know, no, I don't like running. Like running is boring, and it is boring, to be honest. It's very boring. But I've been like blending it with like the first time I did it the other week, I was listening to our podcast and like taking down mental notes of like where to like cut in and stuff whenever I got back. And then after that, I was listening to Good Mythical Morning, reading fan fiction of each other. Like I was only listening to it because you don't even need to see it, I guess. Like, so it was super cringy, but absolutely hilarious. And I was like, actually, this is how to do it. It's like, you know, that sort of like stereotypical shot of someone in the living room on the treadmill watching television. You know, this is like the equivalent. Like I get to get outside and I'm going for a short run. And I kind of just zone out and forget about it because I'm listening to the podcast. I've done 2-3 runs this past week, very short runs, like, you know. But like I'm just kind of trying to get past that starting point. You know, it's just horrible at the start, but like it's slowly lifting. No, I'm not loving running, but I'm hating it less now that I'm kind of just I find like a small system to kind of you know, make it happen. Like, did you, because you do personal training how many times during the week?
3 times a week.
3 times?
3 times a week.
And like, how long are your sessions usually? Like an hour or?
An hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
So it's from 9:30 in the morning till 11 in the morning. Yeah. So,
that's amazing.
We started in the first day, that was a Friday, and it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It was January 9 of 2020. We haven't skipped a workout since then. It's been really good. And
nice.
The reason why I got a personal trainer was that it's a little more expensive than the gym membership by, you know, a few tens of dollars, US dollars if you convert. But I was thinking, like, if I get a gym membership, which is a lot cheaper, I could always wake up and be like, nah, do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow I'll say the same thing and never do it again. And I felt like if I hire a human being, you know, as part of it, I'll have liability. I'll have to show up, which is, it's one of the things that I've been learning about myself lately is that I've been waking up at like, you know, 8 and 9 in the morning since we started training. And every time I wake up in the morning, especially during training day, it's always, oh, okay. I gotta get up. Let's do this. But I always know, and it's been tried and tested since January 9, that every time I step in the gym, it's all gone, and it's like it goes, you know, like adrenaline beast mode kind of thing, or what I mean, you know, beast mode. But I forget about being sleepy. I forget about being early morning. Well, early for me. I know some people will be like, "What? That's early for you?" Well, yeah, it is for me. And it's like you know, I forget about it, and it's probably one of the best things I've done. It's helped me a lot with streaming too. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, was for streaming. Was that I felt like to a certain extent, I started getting a little mentally weak with streaming. It's a personal thing. Like, it wasn't, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was like anything obvious on stream or whatever, but it's just a personal thing. Like, I need to, you know, if I want to keep going with this, I got to feel better. And how do I feel better? I got to start with the small things, man. Like how I feel before and after the streams. And
it's like,
good,
it is small things. Like, you know, exercise does make you feel mentally way better. and like being outside and exercise is also a great combination. But like exercise alone, even a small amount, can like change your mood so differently. I remember. Oh no, I was about to mention carve 'em up. I remember this streamer I was talking to. We'll call him
guy with a suit.
We'll call him John. And he was saying to me that he had started like doing. I don't know if he's still doing it, but like he went out for runs, and like he went for short runs, like my runs that I did the other day, like or not yesterday, but the day before. Like my run, they're not long runs. It's like I'm back in like 15 minutes, but I am like punctured. Like I am.
Yeah.
I look like a beetroot that's been like thrown from, the Eiffel Tower. I just look smashed. Yeah. And, but like, I feel mentally, like, I feel recharged, and like, I'm not even going running in the daytime. Like, I mean, what a difference that would make. But I mean, I love that idea that you start, in the morning, 3 of your mornings, with this routine of like, exercise. I really like that. I might actually try that at some point. Maybe just give the personal trainer a go, because I've always heard good things. Everyone that's like even friends of mine. There's a guy, one of my childhood friends. Like I've known him since we were both 4. So you're talking, I guess, nearly 30 years. I've known him, and went to school with him and all that. So he was recently like he is the last guy you would expect to do exercise. He's not like, some obese guy or anything. He just doesn't, he's like me. He's just like, doesn't like to do exercise. It's beer, food, and games. It's the trifecta. But he went to a personal trainer for like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months. And he was like, it was amazing. Like it totally changed him. I mean, obviously, the physical improvements were clear, like, but like he was like, in my head, I'm just like, I can do stuff. And like there was something, I was watching something recently, and it was talking about how exercise obviously mentally lifts you, but like when it lifts a weight off you, and when the weight is gone, you're able to like think more clearly. And as like, as creative people, it says, like if you're trying to be creative, you're trying to create ideas or plans, like it helps you think more clearly and kind of invigorates you to like, sort your shit out, and like if you've got ideas, like, I mean, I know when I wasn't exercising and I would like hit like musical, like writer's block, and it is the worst thing. Writer's block, or like, like a creativity block, just in general. And you're like, I don't know. I know I need to do something, but I don't know what it is. Like, and it's really frustrating. But exercise, it's just like someone just pulls the curtain off. And you're like, oh, there's all the ideas. They're just right in front of me. It just wakes up. I'm like, I can't stop writing down ideas after I've like, been exercising for a while. It's just like, it's a tonic. Like it really is a tonic. It changes you.
Yeah, it does. And like, it's such a, like for me, as well, like after a really good workout, you're just like in a good mood, and you're like one thing. I think one of the most obvious things for me personally was, I was irritable. Like I would get irritated easily. Yeah, and super easy. And then when you work out, it's this weird magic of being a little less and a little more compassionate. I'd say you'd be a little more tolerable with certain things, and that's one thing I would like straight up as a streamer. That's one of my biggest, like, something I want to get better at is being like, okay, I gotta be less of a dick. Yeah, dick. And it's like with working out, it kind of helps a lot. Kind of puts peace in your mind. Yeah, I think that's what I was after. Was like a good. I just wanted a really good mental state. And nothing gives you a good mental state than not being able to breathe for a bit.
Recommend it.
Yeah, and I fucking love my trainer, man. He's a longtime friend. Yeah. It's funny because when we met, fun fact, I used to be about 80 pounds, like 80 pounds. I was completely underweight, completely unhealthy. Then what changed my life was my older brother. Ryan is his name. Ryan was all his life was always like a gym junkie. When he's a doctor. When he was still studying, there would be a gym nearby his school. He would be like super, like insane. Like it's like a boulder. And he stopped working out eventually when he became a doctor. And then in 2013, he went up to me and he was like, I'll teach you how to train. I'll teach you the little stuff. And that's when he introduced me to bodyweight training, aka calisthenics.
Yeah.
And I got so addicted to it. I eventually gained about 20, 30 pounds from it. And then there was a local calisthenics park here in where I live. And I would go to it. It would just be me and my brother. It was super quiet. It just opened. They had pull-up bars and everything. So we'd go there.
Yeah.
And then that's where I met my trainer, Paolo. And when I met Paolo, he was almost as small as me. He was a little bigger, but he was almost as small as me. Like we were both just these like thin dudes trying to get bigger, you know. And that was about 2014. We kept working out together till about 2015. I stopped in 2015 because of work. Like when videography blew up for me a bit.
Yeah.
I just let go of it a bit, and Paolo kept going, man. He kept going and going and going. He never stopped. Then he got work as a trainer in certain gyms and stuff, some high tier gyms in the Philippines.
Nice.
And then it was this year when I hit him up. I was like, hey, 2020, let's do it. I messaged him on Instagram. I was like, dude, are you down? I know he has a day job, and I was like, are you down to train me?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm so down.
Yeah.
And he's so nice. Like he literally trains me before his day job. He enters work at 11 in the morning.
Nice.
And he's the
Good
best
guy.
man. Like he knows my limits and everything because we've known each other for a bit as well.
Yeah.
And you know, it's always what's nice about it as well as we always have a nice talk in the middle of a session. You know,
does he know as well?
A nice friend.
As like a personal trainer to like, you know, put the friend aside and be the trainer and like, you know, although he knows your limits, he's like, you know, he'd like, come on, Ramen, let's get there. Let's, you know, 70,000 more crunches. We can do it.
Yeah, he does. He does it really well. I think that's what I love about him the most is that he can push me. He knows how to push me.
That's good.
100%. He's not shy at all.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like begging him, like, really? Are we gonna do another round of this?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? He's like, we are. You better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good, man. And I think that's one thing as well that I was afraid of before of getting a trainer. I was like, what if he pushes me every day and I just get stressed?
Yeah.
You know, like, and I don't look forward to going to the gym anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's the middle ground I found with Paolo is that I find it fun, but at the same time, there's also dread to it. Like, oh man, I know I'm gonna get pushed here, but it's at the perfect point where I know I'm looking forward to going back the next day, which we have actually tomorrow morning as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. There's dread, but like not so much that it deters you from, you know, continuing to commit to it. That's good. Like.
And every morning, man, like I think this is what I want to share the most about this whole fitness thing is the morning. I think, you know, I don't have to go into detail about like what we work out on, my progress, all that. Literally, the hardest part for me, and I think some people may relate to this, is just doing it.
Yeah.
Like the leap, like the biggest leap of faith for me is literally waking up at like in the morning, you know, and heading to the gym. Period. That's the biggest challenge. Once I'm in the gym, it's over. I'm gonna wreck that routine. But the hardest part, I swear to like everyone listening right now, the hardest part is always getting to the gym itself. Period.
I guess that's
once
like that's the beginning. You know, it's like we're saying. You know, the hardest part is starting. It's like you know, actually going there is part of that starting. But like I can like look, I live beside a mountain, and to walk up to the top of that mountain. If I did that every day, I mean, I wouldn't be like, you know, ripped, but, you know, I would definitely be in a lot better shape.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for me to just drive on past it to just go to work instead. It's just like, you talking about this, I think I'm gonna ignore the dread and maybe just try and do a wee bit more. And like, the mornings as well. Like, I think that's a good way to kick off your whole day. It's like, I've been doing the night runs, but like, I would definitely, I think doing it in the morning is the best way to kind of, it just sets you up, I guess. You know, it's like a good breakfast, you know?
Yeah.
Just get
you
in the
awake,
right mindset.
start early, you know? There's no way to like start your day later.
Yeah.
And Yeah, one like I swear, like there are days where I wake up and even if I'm like, it's not even like that I'm sleepy or anything. It's more of like, oh fuck, like I'd rather just chill and then prepare for the stream or something. But like I swear there are days when I know deep in my mind that I don't want to do it. Like I'm not today, man, not today. Like I could easily message him and be like, yo, bro, not today, dude. But I keep fighting that. I'm like, there's no way. No, fuck that, dude. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving this up. So when I get to the gym every day, I try to remind myself of that feeling.
Yeah.
Every single day, because I can't emphasize enough how every morning it's a no for me. Not every morning, but there are some mornings where it's like, not today, dude. Like I'm sore. I'm tired. I just want to rest. I'm gonna have a long day of streaming, whatever. But I just force it. Put on my gym outfit and get to the gym and. The rest is history. It's
good though as well. And like your job is sitting down, you're sitting a lot for your job. And I guess, probably, I don't know how much, sitting down versus being out in the field you would have done in videography. But I imagine you sit, in your, I mean, it's good chair and all, but like you probably sit way more now.
Way more, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not even like the sitting itself. It's like, everything that comes with it. It's like, not just the stiffness, but like, sitting indoors for like, 8 hours, 12 hours a day. It's a heavy commitment. You just got to get one of those like skylights just built in just get the top floor apartment and just get that sweet skylight.
I talked about this with Alex, my girlfriend, is that with videography, I'm still carrying a lot of like heavy equipment and stuff. You're still like, there's an amount of like fitness involved, especially when you're holding a steady cam. And I never had the automatic, like electric gimbals. I always had the glide cam specifically, which is the manual one.
Yeah.
And that stuff is heavy and it's a lot of balancing and it's just, and I used to do that a lot. That was like my bread and butter as a videographer before. I was pretty proud of as a glide cam operator. And, that was like stuff like that. Little things like that was gone. And here I am. And I'm now, I don't even carry anything. Like there's nothing I carry anymore.
There's nothing.
Like it's just my mouse and keyboard.
I know. I find that as well. Like before I could drive, like I would do a lot more walking. And like if I was playing gigs, I don't play gigs anymore. Not that I want to start playing gigs again. I don't think I would, but I was like carrying this like a Yamaha CP33. It's like I don't think it's technically a stage piano because it's so fucking heavy. Like it would be torture for anyone to carry it around. But here was me carrying, like this thing was heavier than a drum kit. I was like, why do I have this? Like, I mean, my initial like role was like a drummer. And I was like, when I came back from England, I was like, I'm going to give drums a break. I like studied full time, like you're talking 5 years of like studying drums and piano. But like, I came back and I was like, I'm going to give drums a break and just focus a bit more on piano because it's easier to transport. It's heavier and more awkward. It's like carrying I mean, I don't know what this is like. I imagine it's like carrying a dead body around because it's so long and so heavy and it's just so like there's no like I didn't have a nice enough bag, so I never had like a comfortable way to carry it. And I don't do any of that stuff anymore now. It's just kind of like,
actually am so interested in this. I want to know more about this gig thing.
Gig thing.
Hey, can you hold that thought?
I'm holding it.
I gotta take a whiz commercial.
Okay, guys, we're gonna run a commercial break. I'm gonna mix something up and post. Here it is. Here's the thing. All right, suck a wiener. All right, this is the ad, and the ad is basically telling you to go and listen to the podcast. So what are you listening to this ad for? What are you waiting on? Go back and listen to the podcast. Jesus. I can't hear you at the minute, but this is Brunty. He's like being nice to me because he thinks I have food.
For those of you watching the podcast,
listening
to the podcast on audio only.
Jesus, why are you getting so
D-Frag
low?
has his cat with him right now.
Oh God!
Yeah, I was just telling podcast that you have your cat with you. The audio only ones.
This is Grunty.
So cute. How old?
He is, I think he's 5. Yeah,
How many cats do you have?
Oh God. Get your foot off it. I'm so sorry, Grunty. I have 2 cats.
See ya.
That could have been. There's too many wires for him to be in here, like, so. It's just a bad idea. Yeah, I've got 2 cats.
So going back, okay, so I want to know about this gig thing. What were you used to perform?
So if we go right back, I'm not gonna like do everything, but I was a drummer. I was primarily a drummer. When I was in grammar school, secondary school, I became a drummer for a metal band called Hemorrhage. Just straight up, Hemorrhage. And I was in that for a while. I was absolutely terrible. And then we changed the name. Same band, same terrible singers. We were all pretty terrible. The only people that were good were the bassists for some reason. The rest of us were trash. And we changed the name to Death Threat. Like, fret on a guitar.
Oh, Death Threat. That's so good.
I was like, oh, I'm leaving that one. That's all right. And then it was just equally as bad. And then from that, I did a 2-year course I told you about. Actually, that 2-year course I did initially, I was in the middle. I was halfway through a graphic design and visual basic course.
Oh.
And I knew everything of the first year just from my hobbies. I was like, so I'd done the first year. I was like, I know all of this. And it just kind of. I mean, I you look at me now, I obviously love design and aesthetics and all the motion stuff is really intriguing to me. I love making all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But the course was crap. It was just a crap course. So I left it, did that music course, and I played drums across that. And from that, the people in that, we created it was like a pop rock band. I mean, it wasn't music that I would really listen to because I was listening to progressive power metal, flat out. I was into the heavy stuff with the wailing and the synths going crazy. But this band was kind of, I don't know. It was a bit more wholesome. So I did that for a couple of years. Then we started a jazz quartet when we moved to England. And I did that for a few years as well, just playing drums. And by that point, I was a lot better drummer. I would say I was pretty good by the end of the course. But I quit it. I quit drums. I haven't played since the end of my degree, actually. I haven't played drums. I sold all my drum stuff. And it was partly because I didn't want to do gigs again. I was just I want to hang gigs up. I just want to. I was at the time I was working on video game music, and I was like, this is way more in up my alley. I can play games, and then I could stop and play some Battlefield. It's I can't do that at a gig. So I was less about the live scene, and I really just wanted to focus on, because I did really well in university in my composing and arranging modules. Those were my top, I got firsts in those, really good marks. And so I was I'm obviously, this is what I'm really good at across the board. And then with getting to work on that game Dust and Elysian Tale and lots of other ones, there was another one that won a publishing deal with Microsoft, Ares Extinction Agenda. And these all came in within the same year of each other. It was 3 or 4 amazing opportunities, and I was just I'm just gonna roll with this, and just kept going, and just sort of doubled down on learning how to write in different styles, and also trying to figure out what my style was. And I mean, that in itself is an infinite thing. I don't think I have, even now, I mean, I know stuff that I like, but I still I haven't got one style. You know, I've written in so many styles, so like it's, you know, it's a different paintbrush every time. But yeah, I haven't played gigs since then. I think I don't think it was like my dislike of gigs. I think it was my real heavy interest in writing music for video games. It's like, I don't even think there's any kid out there that would be like, as a kid, even think about writing music for video games. Like, like maybe now they would, but like, you know, back when I was a kid, I never thought about it. You know, I maybe thought about being a game developer, but like, I also thought about being an astronaut, and I also thought about being a ninja. So like, you know, like I had a lot of job interests on the table, you know what I mean?
Opportunities.
Turns out ninjas, it's not as well paid as I thought. So I hung up the nunchucks and I let it go.
I do understand you the whole live set thing, because, you know, like I mentioned in the last episode, I was a DJ before, and it's one of the things that I grew to not really hate, but slowly kind of I guess dislike is a softer word. You know, at the start it's super fun, and then just the lifestyle and like everything with it wasn't great.
Yeah.
After a while, and then like you said, I can super feel what you said when you said something about like, you could do video game music and like play Battlefield after, kind of thing. It's a lot more a lot more chill, I guess. You know, I wasn't built for the whole. You know, I did it for a long time though. Man, I was teaching for so long. Like I DJed from 2007 all the way to 2015.
Yeah.
And but by the end of 2015, it was such a weird feeling of like, whoa, I have no more gigs. And DJing was always, and I'm sure for you it was always evenings as well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a lot of it was in the evening. You'd be playing restaurants and pubs and stuff. So yeah,
it's the exact same feeling, man.
Dude,
I did that for a chunk of my life.
This one gig, I remember this one gig made me really think, do I want to play live music? And like, so we got hired as the jazz quartet. We were called the Kettle Quartet, and such a stupid name, because it was like, oh, we all like to drink tea. Oh, we'll call ourselves the Kettle Quartet. I was like, all right, whatever. Let's just get me paid. So we got hired for this gig for this, it was a Lord Mayor in England. And, we went to this really fancy estate, and we went into this room full. I had my drums. Went into the room. So we had a drummer, we had a saxophonist, we had a guitarist, and we had a keyboard player. And you're talking like a big, you know, full 88 keys. Yeah. So like that, it needs a bit of space. We went in to this big grand hall, and I was like, all right, okay. I was like, are we going to be playing in here? And it's like, yeah, come down here. And they walked us down past this really long table, but at the end was where the Lord Mayor was going to be sitting. And like, I swear, like, I'm trying to like, you know, show you the kind of distance, maybe like where my thumbs are. Like, that's how close I was to the Lord Mayor's seat. I was like, it's like, do you just want us to play here? It's like in this corner. There was so little room. And I was like, I wasn't even worried about the space. I was worried about being so loud, because I'm acoustic drum kit is hard to play quietly.
Soft.
I had brushes, like, you know, so but I was barely touching anything. Like, it was like, you know, those joke kind of gigs you see where like, you know, jazz musicians are like, you know, this is like barely touching it. I was pretty much doing it. I was like, I can't really touch anything on my drum kit, but you know, I was getting paid to barely touch my drum kit the entire night. It was I was just like, you know, is this what I want to keep doing? Like, I want to be like tucked in, like they were all having dinner and we were like, you know, like the saxophonist, like saxophones are really hard to play quiet. Like if you think drums are hard, like he was barely, it was just like,
he just barely trying to blow.
I was like looking at him going, don't blow too hard, don't blow too hard. Like, you know, it's just like, at least the keyboard and the guitars, the guy actually I work with now, he was the guitarist, and like at least they could turn themselves down a bit. Like, he basically didn't even have the amp on for the guitar. He was just like playing this electric guitar and like strumming these tiny wee chords. And then afterwards there was like another, you know, high society guy came up to us and he was like, you know, I'd love to get you guys for bring you onto my estate and have you play a gig. And I was like, yeah, sure, no worries. And I was just like thinking, it's good. We're gonna be playing in like his toilet or something. It's just gonna stick us in some tiny room again. It's like I didn't understand how we got onto this massive estate, and they basically like had me like 4 men like right beside this guy, just like playing music into his ear. I was just like, this is too weird, man. So weird.
Oh my goodness, dude. Like these gigs. Go ahead, good.
That was that was the tipping point for me. I kept playing after that, but like I was like after uni, I was like, I think maybe I'm just gonna compose instead.
Yeah,
I don't want to be composing beside someone while they're trying to have their steak and eggs. So
yeah, I'm trying to look back as well as like like what were my worst gigs as a DJ, and it's not bad. Like you get the usual like you play for the wrong crowd kind of thing, like whoops, they don't like this type of music, so you gotta adjust really hard. But one thing I can remember as a DJ is that the hardest thing to DJ is always a wedding,
right?
Because a wedding, you have to play everything, from the oldies all the way to the youngsters, because in a club you play the usual stuff. It's easy,
plus requests.
Super easy. yeah request as well. It's the hardest thing. And then it's always about, and then they hired you, and then it's like the parents and stuff, they're like, you have to play this song because it's like maybe like the parents or the uncle or something. And it's always like, oh goodness. And it's always just like the song that you can't, there's no way. And then you gotta keep everyone. The hardest part about it is just making different generations happy. It's the hardest thing. And I was in a wedding recently. I don't want to name anything and name names in case I have friends listening to this, but I was at a wedding recently. I've only been to one wedding recently, so if you're my friend, you know what wedding this is. And there was so the DJ was a good friend of mine. We were not super close right now, but when I used to DJ, we're pretty good friends. And he's growing now. He's like a really quite known radio DJ and everything, but nice. He was a DJ, and I saw this like probably like maybe the friend of a parent or something, and dude, I could see from afar like she was like trying to request something. I could see her being like angry about something, and then he'd be like, no, I got it, I'm gonna try to do my best. I couldn't mouth properly, but I could see the body language. And so every time there was a transition to another song, she'd look with like this eye like, how dare you, like that wasn't
not yet.
And then she like beelines back to the DJ, and then while watching that, it was giving me anxiety, dude. I was like, I know how that feels, dude. Like this person who keeps coming back, and it's always like, it's like, I'll get there. Or they ask for like, I mean, there's nothing impossible per se, but you kind of have like an idea of what you're gonna do, and then someone just like turns it around. But I guess that's what makes good DJs as well. People who can really adjust to that properly. But that's one thing as well that I always didn't like as a DJ was weddings. All the weddings
catering
so
everybody.
Big. Yeah. But weddings can be a hit or miss. Sometimes you get that really good wedding. I was like, oh my god, that was amazing. But more often than not, it's usually like never liked DJing for weddings. Hated it.
I mean, I was at a friend's wedding recently, and the DJ was like either given a playlist or taking the requests of our mates, because like he was doing everything, and like, but it was awesome because like he had Metallica Master of Puppets playing as well at one point. And like there's a small number of our male friends who would get up and like throw down to Master of Puppets. So like as soon as it came on, like every drunk friend from every corner was just running to like the center of the room. But by the time we got there, this full dance floor had like cleared completely just with the song coming on. And just this like, sweaty circle of men just going just like headbanging and shoving each other, and our like everyone's in their suits, we're all like shoving each other and just like going bucko. And then the song was over and it was like back to normality, like all the standard sort of hits and stuff coming on. And it was so
that
funny.
Always
like,
happens, I
was just like, I gotta respect this DJ for like, balancing all of this. It's just like also alcohol just makes for a really vibrant audience. So
all songs are good when you're drunk.
This is true. This is true. I danced to many.
Makes good DJs.
Yeah,
that's what makes really good DJs. People who can really like adjust on the fly, man.
Yeah, yeah, like feed it in. If they finish the song, they go, I reckon I can keep these guys up here if I play this song. Like I think he put on "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen after, and everyone was just like, just kept them going,
Yeah, any live performer, man, and whether it's like I guess like streamers, wrestlers, like like WWE.
Yeah, God,
any live performer, man. There's that talent where, you have to have that kind of skill or talent where you really have to grasp your audience.
Yeah,
bite the neck.
That is like like that. You have to have such, what's the word for it? It's like gravitas or something. For those kind of personalities.
Yeah.
It's like it's amazing. I don't know. I think that's like there's some kind of magic to that. Like watching Dwayne Johnson in his element. It's like something. There's something special there. Like you can't just you can't teach it. It's just part of the person's sort of genetic makeup, I guess. It's just everything about him, his personality and all. It's just that eyebrow, It's
he's literally the most electrifying
man in entertainment or something. Something like that.
Sports entertainment.
He had so many nicknames. I mean, if you looked up, let me see if I can find all the Rock nicknames. He had so many.
I'm looking at it right now.
I don't recognize some of these.
The corporate champion. You remember this?
The corporate champion. I don't remember. The most electrifying man in all of entertainment. Electrifying man in sports of all time was the number one. The great one. The people's champion. The Brahma Bull. I remember that. That was a classic.
Yeah, Brahma Bull.
Do you remember, was it the Rock and Sock? Whenever he was like a tag team with Mick Foley? Mankind. It's the most bizarre combination, but it works so well.
Mankind's finisher's the best.
Oh, it's so disgusting. Sacco, actually disgusting.
Oh goodness, dude.
God, they don't make wrestlers like that anymore. I don't think.
Man, I remember watching Stone Cold, The Rock, Mankind, Undertaker.
Undertaker's still in it. I think maybe recently Undertaker and Kane might be. No, I think they're still going. I think they're both still going, which is crazy because they look kind of old when I finished watching it. So they must be, I don't know, pushing 60 by now. Last thing I want to do when I'm 60 is getting suplexed over a rope. Yeah, I saw Undertaker not recently, but maybe a couple of years ago, and see, damn, he's old. If he's still in now in 2020, damn, son. I know.
He's timeless, man.
I mean, Hulk Hogan made a few comebacks, and I was like, you need to just, Hulk needs to
Ric Flair introduced LeBron James. He introduced, I think, was it LeBron James? I just saw the clip. I didn't see the whole game, but he introduced LeBron James's entrance into the Staples Center in the Laker game recently. I was watching, but it looked like he was old. He was trying to do his whole woo.
He was like, woo.
No, I'm not kidding. It was like that. Really?
Whoa.
It was over there. It was like, damn, this guy's getting old, dude.
Fair play to him. He's got to get that paycheck. Get his bus money home.
Legend, man. Bus money home.
It is crazy, actually. Thinking about, I recently was trying to figure out when I was watching it, and it must have been late 90s. I really started watching because it was whenever DX was in, and Rock had he wasn't a heel anymore because he used to be a heel earlier on. He was a bad guy. And so he wasn't, I didn't ever know The Rock as a bad guy, but apparently whenever, I never got to see Rock and Sock, for example. Rock and Sock was they would do a special comeback for Rock and Sock whenever I was watching it. So it was obviously further back whenever that was a more consistent thing. But I must have been watching it in 99 or something. And I was trying to find, I was like, I want to go and watch it all. I want to relive all of it because I loved it so much, and I really wanted to capture it again. I was trying to find. I even found God, I have it here. I have so many drawers. Okay, I don't have it, but it is somewhere. It's like a PS2 copy of SmackDown, the second SmackDown.
Yeah.
And because we used to love, like, we loved everything SmackDown and Raw. Like, it was just obsessed. But like on the WWE website, you can subscribe and watch every single WWE episode from right back to the start, where like Vince McMahon was like a commentator, like super early. I was just like, I mean, I wouldn't maybe watch that far back because it was kind of it was figuring itself out. Like, but like they have every episode. It's too much to go through. Like every PayPal or pay-per-view episode, and every like, you know, show episode, they have all of it. It's crazy, and that's all. You just pay to watch all of it.
As you mentioned DX, I had this. I just remembered how. Do you remember, was it like that as well for you back then, when in the late '90s, early 2000s, when DX was at its peak? Was that doing the suck it was the meanest thing you could do in school?
Yeah,
it could get you sent to the principal's office. Yeah, if you do that suck it at school, you're dead, dude.
Yeah, like my mate would literally greet me like that every day, like just like yeah, good to see you. Nice.
That was like the meanest thing. That was like you know, disrespecting the Bible. You know, that it was that mean as a grade schooler. I was like, how dare you do the suck it in school? You know, you could easily tell like the principal, like, you know, he did the suck it.
He did the suck it.
Go to my office. Go to my office, sir.
I remember
suck it.
We were we had a drama class, and me and two of the other guys were like heavily obsessed with like just WWF and The Rock and Stone Cold, and we were learning how to do, like, you know, not just the stunner, but like how to like, you know, the way the Rock would literally like stretch Armstrong away, but like whoosh, to go right up.
You would have this like handstand push up.
Yeah,
all
like
the way
so
out.
like we were like practicing like the reactions, like, you know, doing the stunner and like and doing like the rock bottom and stuff, and it was just like it was thinking back to it, I'm like, what the fuck were we doing? Like, but I mean, I don't know. That's how obsessed we were. We were like, we're gonna like learn how to, like, you know, receive a stunner.
Yeah.
Not even do the stunner.
Is learning how to receive the people's elbow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You gotta flat line.
You gotta like flop like a fish.
Yeah. It's like a defib hitting you. Oh god.
Oh, that's so good, dude.
Yeah, like that's why The Rock was so, because he knew how to take like a punch. He took a punch as if he'd just been hit by a car. So we were like we were like flying against the walls, like knocking over like filing cabinets and stuff, because we had like fallen back so far. And so like we were like, you know, like the true salt of a good wrestler is knowing how to like absolutely get decimated by a single punch. True. It was never delivering the punch, it was receiving it.
Yeah. And The Rock was always so extra about it.
He was so extra. I loved it. I loved it so much.
Man, freaking WWF, man. I remember having like those, you call it clear books as well. You know, like those folders with like clear sheets where you slip paper in it.
We call them Polly Pockets.
Oh, Polly Pockets. So we call them clear books here. And so we used to have, I shit you not, we used to have profiles of WWF wrestlers. Like, move, height, weight. Yeah. We do. It was more of my brother's friend, one of my older brother's friend. He would come over when it's like a special night of like wrestling. Like, well, WrestleMania or something, and then you know, it's like, wait, who's this guy again? You got the clear book. Yeah, it's this guy. He's like 6'3".
Let me just check. pH 345.
Okay, we used to have that, man. What we had was what I clearly remember was the soundtrack of. Did you used to have one? The CD?
Oh, dude, I had it on CD. Yeah, I had like all the tracks on CD. I think I bought, like, there was like a compilation. I definitely bought it. Like,
I had that too. The actual like the one you had to buy off of, you know, WWF.
The DX theme tune must have got played from that thing about 5 billion times.
Stone Cold, dude. Stone Cold's Shattering Glass has to be the greatest of all time.
So good, like, so good. God,
I
I want to
clearly
listen to this again.
going crazy, absolutely crazy every time The Rock would make his comeback. Like out of nowhere, if you smell what The Rock,
like it's such a good theme tune.
I thought he's retired, dude.
Oh God!
If you smell, dude,
so good.
So good. I was always a bigger fan of The Rock than. Well, I was a big fan of both, but I guess The Rock lasted longer. So
yeah, no, for sure. Like The Rock just had so many more layers to him. Like Stone Cold was great though. Yeah, Jabroni. He's like, oh my God. Sticking it straight up your candy ass is like everything. Or his "It Doesn't Matter" phase was amazing. It doesn't matter, the song.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's so good.
It interrupts you. Oh, nothing. Yeah, nothing like really. I haven't really kept up with wrestling lately. I know a couple of friends are who's super still into wrestling.
Yeah.
But I haven't really kept up. But from what I've seen so far, it's like no one really beat The Rock with his with his smack talk.
It's funny. I was watching. It was on channel. It's called Channel 5 here, and like they must have got rights for, I think maybe SmackDown or Raw, and Edge came back, and Edge is like revered now, like the way The Rock was back then. Like Edge is like OG, like he's got a gray beard and everything, man. He's like old Edge. He's cool. Like he's still like tanked, like he's awesome, but like he's older looking, but he had his original music and all. I think it was You Think You Know Me.
You think that?
Yeah. I was like,
you think you know me.
I just it sent a shiver down my spine. I was like, oh my God, Edge. And it was interesting. They had him on. Everyone lost their minds. Like so you can see that like there's a lot of like the older crowd, like their previous generation, who still remember like like early 2000s, sort of late 90s era of these being like such a big deal. And Randy Orton, I think, was on it as well. And like,
is Randy Orton still active, or he's more of like a?
Yeah, no, let me see. Was it Randy Orton? Let me just look at Randy Orton's face. Oh no, it's not Randy Orton. It's like a different. No, it was. It was Randy Orton. Yeah, he's still active. So apparently, like, there's a whole thing of him and like Edge, and then like I was like, it was so funny. I was like, I don't know any story of it at all. Like I was just watching it, and Edge was in the ring, and he was like, it's so good to be back. And then classic, he's like listening to the crowd and stuff, and the crowd are like Edge. And then he goes to speak, and the classic, you go. And then someone else's theme tune starts playing because someone's coming out to like talk to them.
You're about to say something.
Yeah. So,
you're about to open your mouth about.
I was like, oh, here we go. And so Randy Orton runs out and he gets in the ring, and like, he's talking like he's really sort of like, narrowing his eyes at him, and he's like, getting on like, like it's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's going to hit him. And then I was like, actually, no, he's not going to hit him. He's going to hug him. And then he went, it's so good to see you. And he hugged him. And then I turned around and I was like, no, he's going to hit him. And like, he hugged him. And then he did a finisher. He did like an RKO on him out of the blue. I was like, classic WWF. Like, it's just like the classic formula of like, I hate you. No, we're good.
Yeah.
Finisher. And then he just like leaves.
Strings.
Yeah, like that's the three. That's the three you always do. Like, you have to do them in that order.
Someone's gonna turn their back on someone. Yeah.
Never turn your back. Never turn your back.
And if there's one thing about WWF or WWE is just the music, man. It's just so like the DX theme, man. Remember
DX theme? Hardy Boys theme was awesome as well.
Yeah.
Edges, obviously The Rock. Like, I mean, there were so many great ones.
Yeah,
like
the music, man.
Chris Jericho's music, I think, was pretty cool as well. I can't remember.
Yeah, Undertaker's gong, dude.
Undertaker's canes. That's so good. Like, oh man,
dude.
You remember Al Snow?
Paul Bearer, man.
Paul Bearer.
Al Snow,
oh my god, Paul Bearer.
He died, right?
Did he die?
He did. Yeah, in 2013, March 5, 2013.
Shit.
Yeah,
he was like the manager of like Kane and Undertaker, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had a
Paul
heart
Bearer,
attack.
his name, so good.
Yeah. He always talk in that voice.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, dude.
Oh,
I'm looking at him right now. He had like, I remember, he would always be like painted white, man. His makeup.
Yeah, he always looked extremely ill.
Yeah.
Like, I think they were going for like a dead look, but like it wasn't quite dead. It was just very ill. He was just very unwell.
Yeah.
It's not feeling good.
Oh man, Paul Bearer, man,
fish.
classic.
So good. Yeah.
Chris Jericho is still active, is he?
Yeah, he is. I don't think he's with
Y2J,
WWE anymore. I think he's moved to someone else.
Oh, AEW. Wait,
Yeah.
where he is the current AEW World Champion. Oh crap.
So like, there's a few different ones. There was a British one that started and it had a really high production rate, but like I just was like, just didn't have the same feel. It was like everybody was William Regal. Does that make sense? I was like, there's too many William Regals in this.
Dude, William Regal is he's like the classic generic dude.
Yeah.
Like when in the video game, he's just like the guy who sucks.
He's the guy who sucked. This is the crappiest finisher. It was like the Royal Punch or something. I don't know.
It was actually the Royal Punch.
Was it? I don't know.
I think so. Wait, William Regal.
What was his finisher? The Regal Cutter. Oh, it was like a crap like RKO. It was.
Wait, there was definitely a Royal Punch though, right?
You know what it was? It was a sleeper hold. Yeah, dude, it was so crap. It was just it was like a submission finisher. It was like a sleeper hold. Oh, it was so boring looking. Like so boring.
Oh my god, William Regal, dude.
Dude, God, like his finisher, and then you like think of like Jeff Hardy's finisher, which is like he just like killed himself every time. The Swanton Bomb is just like goodbye. It's just like I'm going to the hospital after I win this match. Just gotta go through 5,000 tables.
Hardy, dude. Jeff and Matt Hardy classics.
What was it? The tables, ladders, and chairs matches they did against the Dudley Boys.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to ask, like, who are the other dudes? Yeah, the Dudley
and they
Boys,
had 3D where, like, what was it? Like, Devon and Bubba Ray. It was like Bubba Ray would, like, dive off the turnbuckle and, like, headbutt the guy, and then that's... like, Devon would, like, hold his legs open. It would just be, like, that there, and he would just, like, dive into his crotch, and then they would pin him.
So good, man.
Imagine trying to think out this, like, how are we going to incapacitate this guy? It's like, right, okay, you hold his legs, don't let him get up. I'm going to get up there, and I'm going to dive with my head into his crotch, and then that should do the trick. That should knock him out.
It's the most organized.
You can see, like, like the whiteboard in the back in the locker room, and it's like, okay, so, like, here's his crotch, and here's your head. So if we just, into the crotch for the 3 count.
One thing I always thought about, like, these wrestlers, like, down the road as I got older, was like how much endurance these guys had, dude.
Insane amounts. Like, it makes me wonder, like, because I mean, that's a lot. It's, I mean, like, although people will say, oh, wrestling's not real. It's like it is real. Like, I mean, like the rivalries it's all scripted, obviously. They don't actually hate each other. Well, maybe they do, but like they run their stories. But like the wrestling itself was like people went to hospital. Like China, I remember she broke her neck or something one time. And like
the athleticism is real, like that is the real part, like the science to it, the art rather. Like
Owen Hart, I remember he died. He died when he was wrestling.
Was it
in
Owen?
WWF?
Oh, yeah, it was Owen Hart. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was I
remember
what was his brother called?
He was that alter ego, right?
Bret Hart was his brother.
Yeah, Bret Hart was his brother, and he had a cape, right? Owen Hart had that.
Oh shit!
He had that other character. What was the name of his character? He jumped from like high up, right?
Yeah, he died during a WWE pay-per-view match in 1999 after falling to his death when he was being lowered into the ring from the rafters of the Kemper Arena. He fell 78 feet to his death. Jesus.
Shoot, dude.
That's harrowing.
Yeah.
The questions people ask is like, did Owen Hart really die? It's like, yeah, no, he's dead. Like, he's definitely dead.
Blue Blazer was the name of his character at that time.
Blue Blazer?
Yeah, he would wear a cape. He's like a superhero kind of thing. He had a mask on and stuff, and yeah, he came from the ceiling and all that stuff. Oh man.
So yeah, anyone who like argues that the technical side of it isn't real, it's like it's definitely it's definitely real. Like, although you do see sometimes like some people's techniques is like really bad, where like someone will like throw a punch and like the guy's head will be like here, and it'd be like, oh
yeah,
like come on, dude, like wait, like at least take like a bit of it, take some of that punch. At least Rock would like throw himself like 7 foot across the ring if you fucking blinked at him, like.
Or like the hardcore ones, like Buried Alive, dude.
Yes.
You know those.
Oh my god, Buried Alive, and like Hell in a Cell and all. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
Hell in a Cell, dude. I
So
remember
good.
as a kid as well, we'd always try to, you'd always try to spot like the wrestling little quirks, like when they get the razor blade and like slice their forehead a bit, like oh, you see that? Look, got the razor from the ref,
What did you call the vampires? There was Viscera and there was it Gangrene or something? Is that a real horrible name?
Gangrene sounds like a sickness, but
yeah, Viscera and Gangrel. That's what it was. Gangrel. They were like they were the two vampires. God.
I remember as
and they were always all about the blood and cutting the foreheads and stuff, and yeah.
Mid 90s, but one of my favorite characters, at least wrestlers, was Razor Ramon. Do you remember him?
Oh my god, you should go and, if you can get time at some point, watch the early, I think even the first episode of WWF, like when it first came out. Razor Ramon's in it. He's got like the wee twirly, like
the twirly. I always like the toothpick, so I'd always have a toothpick in my mouth. Like, look, I'm Razor Ramon. He goes flick it out after saying something.
So annoying. Razor Ramon, man. Oh, he's such a grease bag. He was in it. He was in it from the start, like from the very start.
Yeah, I remember to like mid 90s maybe. I don't know how far he went really.
Yeah. No, he was, he did a long haul. I think he did it. I mean, I think they all kind of did comebacks at some stage, like, but yeah, I think he did as well. Like, his character. Oh my God.
People search for. It said he retired at 2010, but I don't know if that's what retirement is this? No, I doubt that's WWF retirement though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he could have went there. There's so many other ones. Like I remember, remember WCW, which had like Goldberg and stuff. And then there was ECW, which I think Jericho actually came from originally. That was Extreme Championship Wrestling. And it was just all hardcore. There was no it was just hardcore. Every match was hardcore. Oh, I
remember that. Yeah.
Their whole point was like, there are no rules except for the 3 count. And it was absolute carnage. I remember there was a game of it and it was such a jank game, but it was so good. It was just.
Yeah, I remember that. Was like just, I remember it being like when WWF like transitioned into, they have pads instead of metal railings, and ECW always had metal railings. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like serious, like it was real dangerous. And then there was like the hectagon or it had this like ring. It was like a 6-sided ring. I think ECW had that. They tried to they're like, let's get rid of the 4-sided ring. Let's go for the 6-sided ring. You see, 6-sided wrestling ring. 6-sided wrestling ring for sale.
I just saw it. Yeah, it's like a toy too.
Oh man. Oh, was it
TNA?
TNA, that's what it was. Yeah, TNA had the 6-sided wrestling ring.
TNA too.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
TNA, man. TNA confirmed 6 sides return.
I saw that too. Bringing back 6-sided ring is a bad idea.
Yeah. That's so good.
Oh. Man. Time fucking flies.
Childhood memories, like, doesn't really feel that long ago.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No.
Always gotta remember that 1990 was 30 years ago, man.
Oh, 1990? Oh no. Well, to be fair, I was only 4 then.
Yeah, I mean, I was 0.
You were 0.
I was born. I was born in 1990.
You just spawned.
Yeah, I just spawned. Yeah.
I already had
was
4 years XP on you by that stage.
You're pretty high level. Yeah,
Pretty
you got a head start.
Oh dear. I was thinking about, or talking about, like, I guess this is like childhood memories of like wrestling and stuff, and I was just thinking about like what else I did back then. And did you ever? So like, I played drums, but I used to skateboard as well. Did you ever skateboard?
No, I never skateboard. I never
No.
like no. I longboarded for a while in high school, but no.
Longboarded?
Not because where we used to live, where I went to high school, it used to be like literally hilly. Like there was a lot of hills, and a lot of my friends started buying longboards. I bought my own too, and then I remember it was Santa Cruz, and then we just whatever. I learned from my friends.
It was
but
the way.
The skateboard as a kid, no.
I used to, I mean, like everyone obviously played like Tony Hawk on PlayStation, you know, so like that was like the drive to be a skateboarder. And like I remember
Tony Hawk.
I think it must have been around the same time like that I was watching wrestling as well. Like, so it would have been maybe actually a bit later than that. We'll say maybe 2003, 2002. And like I remember everyone always told me like in skateboarding, like if you learn the kickflip is like the key move. And if you can do kickflips, it's like it unlocks every other move. Like it's like the basis for so many different moves. So if you can manage to consistently kickflip, everything else becomes you base everything off that. Sorry. And
have you landed one?
So like I at that point I learned how to kickflip. And like, you know, I could do pop shove-its and I could do ollies and ollies. So like I'd figured out like an array of them, like, and I'd worked pretty hard on it, but I wasn't like great. But like I was like, if I can just get the kickflip this summer, I had the summer to figure it out. I actually remember coming up. It was like coming up. I was like, okay, I got like 2 months ish, and like, you know, exams were wrapping up, and I was like, right, this is it. This summer, I'm gonna figure out kickflip. And come the end of the summer, maybe a wee bit back into school again, I'd got the kickflip down. And like no sooner that I had figured out how to kickflip, like about a week later, I was skating and I fell off my skateboard. And I'd never, like, you fall off skateboards all the time, like, you know, but like I never really I scuffed myself, but I absolutely like banjaxed. I like destroyed my ankle. My ankle was like this big. It was just like bowling balls.
Any broken bones?
No,
sprain?
I just sprained it super bad. It felt like I broke it because I couldn't put any weight on it. So like, I guess it was maybe a month, maybe 2 months goes by, because although the swelling came down, the ankle was still kind of just, it was riggedy wrecked, like it was torn up and stuff. I don't know. I just couldn't really, because with skateboarding, obviously, you know, you like your feet kind of like work on the axis of the board itself. So you're using your ankles a lot. I was like, I can't touch it. Can't even like do that. So I figured out how to kickflip. This then happened. I came back and it was like the summer never happened. And I was like angry teenager. I was like, oh my God, I have no time to learn this again. Like I'll wait the next summer to like figure this out. So like I remember I was like tried to do it a few times, and like I tried for like a full day to do it, and at the end of the day I just picked up my skateboard and just fucking I smashed it into 1,000 bits. I was such an angry, like I was pure angry teenager. I was just like, I wasn't an angry guy, but like I basically wasted my summer. I'd forgotten many like social outings to like practice this kickflip. And I was like, well, only one thing to do. Just gonna smash the shit out of it. I just broke it into like a billion pieces. One of my mates still has like a fragment. She has like a bag of like bits of wood as like from the skateboard, because I just like, there was nothing left by the end of it. I spent the rest of the day smashing that skateboard up because, you know.
Do you think you can still do an ollie?
An ollie? I did an ollie recently. I don't know why I had a skateboard. I've got one down at mum and dad's house. I think they have my old skateboards, the ones I bought after that I didn't break. And I don't know where I did an ollie. I think I don't know. But yeah, I did one recently. badly, like, but I mean, I can still ollie.
Yeah.
I can ollie with the cool kids.
As a kid, it was basketball. That's Filipino, usual Filipino thing. You're
Did you
so addicted to
play
basketball.
as much as you watched, or like was it everything? Was it consume it, play it?
Played almost every day because we used to have a court outside our house. We used to have the one you fill with water, like an actual 10-foot court.
That's amazing. That's so good.
And my brother was he, like I mentioned last episode, he's part of the varsity team of our school and everything, and we'd always play with him, and then he would always bring us to like there would be like, in the village court where we used to live, there's always like a 5-on-5 kind of thing. So we used to have those as well when like late grade school, high school.
Yeah.
And then I remember I tried out. I never tried out for the varsity team. Well, I tried once in like grade, like 6th or 5th grade, and it's like I never pulled through with it. And then like I got shot after the first day tryouts. I'm like, it's too good. I was like, I backed out. My brother's like, come on, man, you can do it. But and then in high school, when I was 4th year, when I was in my senior year of high school, I was like, you know what, I haven't tried out since 5th grade. I tried out, and then I got to the like near end of it, but I just didn't like it. I didn't like the training after school and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy to get involved. You just have to like I mean, it's not easy, but it was more of like, as long as they know that you're dedicated to it, they'll get you in.
You gotta commit your time
as long as
to
you
it.
loved it. Yeah. And I wasn't. Yeah, I was like, I don't like this training. I'm not a fan of this. But yeah, basketball was such a huge part of my life as a kid. That's how we bonded as brothers. Always like 2-on-2, stuff like that.
I love that.
Always.
I love that you had that like access to like go and play basketball like so much. Do you like? Would you ever? I don't know. Like, I mean, I was gonna say, would you ever play it again? Like, but obviously, I guess you would. Like, but I mean, it's just like it's because of the convenience of it being near your house. That was like what made it so like easy to access.
During the holidays, when we're in like in a vacation house down south of the metro. My parents have a vacation house there, and in that area there's a basketball court that you can rent. We do play, like I played last Christmas, or
nice.
no, actually last Christmas, with my nephews and stuff.
Yeah.
And my other nephew who's 17 right now, I can't believe he's 17 actually. He's getting a lot better, and every time my brother flies in, because my brother who plays basketball is based in Cambodia right now. Every time he flies in, he's always like teaching Kyle, one of my nephews, the 17-year-old, like new stuff.
Yeah.
It's such a huge part of our family, man. Like as both as a fan and as a hobby. Yeah. That's why, like, as a Filipino, we used to love. Do you know Steve Nash?
I know the name, Steve Nash.
Yeah. So Steve Nash is he's a basketball player for he was a star in the Phoenix Suns, and basically he wasn't extremely athletic, but he was small. He was a point guard. He was like small in the NBA sense. He was 6 feet, around that much. And averaged like 7 footers there. Tall. And he wasn't like a LeBron James. He was like a normal dude. You could like his body was achievable if you work out enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was always that was always the role model of a lot of Filipinos. Any player that was small and wasn't extremely athletic was always a Filipino guy's like, if he can make the NBA, I can too, dude. As kids, it was always the dream, man. Like as really like 2nd, 3rd grade. Yeah. You want to make it to the NBA as a Filipino. Be the first Filipino
player. Could have been the next Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have that goal. Like it's gotta be achievable. It's nice to have a midway point. Steve Nash is like closer to the grab.
Yeah. Yeah. There was another player as well, Muggsy Bogues. He was 5'3", or on paper he's like 5'3", 5'4", and he was a player in the 90s, and he was extremely like jacked. He was a beast of he was jacked. I think he was like 5'4", and he was so jacked. He comes to the Philippines every now and then because he knows that he's a big, huge thing here. Yeah, because of his size.
God, I always wonder like the kind of like heights that they can jump, like the shorter, comparatively shorter, because like you get people close to 7 foot in the NBA, like obviously, and someone like, what'd you call him? Muggsy
Bogues.
Bogues, like like
exactly.
Was he good? Like I guess he was good.
He was pretty good. Yeah, that's why he was. Yeah, he was pretty huge here. It's because he was not a superstar, but he was a star.
Yeah,
he was a pretty.
He got the job
done. He's a really good point guard. Yeah, he got a good shot. He could dribble around people, but he was really short in NBA terms. But yeah, is always
I guess
huge part of Filipinos.
Yeah. I guess like I mean, like I've said before, I'm not like mad into sports, but like we probably since I was like late into my teens, I would have watched like the big Irish rugby games. Like I'm not like, you know, diehard fan. I wouldn't like, you know, follow the team like the smaller like county teams around or go see like any local games. But like just like the big, like if Ireland was playing England, you know, I had my Ireland rugby jersey on. I was ready to go down and scream it out like. But that would have been like our like, I mean, it still is our like kind of like the how you're saying, you know, like you and your brothers and basketball stuff get together to watch the basketball together. It's like, you know, that would be what we would have, you know, like me and my sister, you know, and my dad. Mom doesn't really care about sports, but she just like likes everyone to be together, you know, standard mom. And we would do that and just kind of, I guess, just my dad has the famous beer fridge, which just you open it up and it's just like gold.
It's just like gold.
Oh, and we would just like accumulate at his house and just drink in that rugby. Like rugby.
What is the? What? So I was gonna ask, what is like this whole stereotype of Ireland and beer? How is that a thing?
I mean, I think it's just like it's Ireland, and I think like the UK as well. I think I don't know why we're all just so alcoholic, but everyone's like a borderline alcoholic. I don't know. It was like, I mean, I remember like a Family Guy episode. It was like it was like Ireland in like, you know, it was like Ireland in like 1850s or like some like really early like date, and it was like Ireland was like the most intelligent like country on the planet. And everyone was like a scientist, and then like they're all inventing these things. It's like, oh, I've invented an everlasting life here, and like, you know, they're like going around going, oh, good job, Johnson, all this. And then this one guy is like, anyone want to taste this thing I've invented? It's like, what's it called? It's like, oh, it's I call it a whiskey. And then they took one sip of it. They all took a wee sip of it, and they're like, and then they just all start like punching and fighting each other. And then it's just like after that, it's like the Ireland that everyone else like sort of stereotypes too. But like, I mean,
right. It's like the whole.
I guess there is a big like pub scene. In Ireland.
Like when you think pub, it seems like Ireland is like
there's a lot like for sure like, and I guess a lot like more here than there would be elsewhere. But like I'd say England, Scotland, and Wales would probably be on par with the amount of like pubs, maybe even more, probably more. Than we have. I don't know. It's just bad weather. It's like, what are we going to do? It's like, I don't know. Let's drink, I guess. Can't go outside. I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
But yeah. I'm not too bad now, to be honest. I was worse when I was younger, like for sure, like, but I've slowed down a lot. Some of my friends still haven't slowed down. I started getting very bad hangovers when I was like pretty young, like 22. And I got them from not really drinking that much. So I used to get like headaches for like having like just a couple of beers. And the next day I'd just be absolutely KO'd. Like I'd have the worst headache and feel so sick. That doesn't always happen, but like it saves you money. Like, you know, if you like just have a few beers and you feel, you know,
true,
you get to that point pretty easily. Like, but.
Yeah, my tolerance isn't so high. I never really drank up until I became a DJ. Like, I wouldn't drink a lot in high school. It was only when I started DJing.
What was it about DJing? Was it just people bringing up and putting a drink down for you while you were working?
That, you know, you have your promoters always like, here, have a shot. And it also helps as a DJ when you're a little, you know, tipsy a bit. It always brings you get more courageous to do weird things.
A bit more limber.
You know, not only that, you also have you have a tab as a DJ, so you get your salary plus you have you can order anything, food, alcohol, so you kind of use that as well. Especially if you don't know anyone in a gig, you just drink.
You just drink.
As a DJ. Yeah. That's the only time I started like drinking for real. Was like when in college as a DJ.
So basically, you just drank out of loneliness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. That's pretty much, yeah. Fair enough. That's another thing we can bond over. That's good.
And that's the episode.
All right, guys. And on that
loneliness
note,
was
okay. Actually, yeah. We've hit 2 hours actually. So I guess we can kind of. Do you want to think of the special word for the end of the episode?
Special word is wet wipes.
Wet wipes. Did you just see some wet wipes in your room and you just said it?
Yeah,
you're like wet wipes.
But I was thinking like router, wet wipes, candle. No, wet wipes is the best one.
Oh God, wet wipes. All right.
Yeah,
and at some point in the video, I think I have to make up some advert because of obviously when we went away, I put that on myself. So that's gonna
I wonder if we could just get a sponsor today. Let's contact someone. And we have a spot for.
I'm just gonna put an ad in to watch our podcast.
That's good.
The most ineffective ad ever. It's just like, don't forget to watch the podcast. If you're watching the podcast, keep watching the podcast. Here's the rest of the podcast.
Keep watching.
Keep watching it.
Oh goodness! Have you guys heard of podcasts? By the way. If you haven't, oh goodness.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have stuff you want to advertise and you want to pay us money, we'll stick it in the middle of the episode. No worries.
This podcast is huge, so up for grabs, boys.
Free real estate. Well, it's not free. There will be a fee.
You meant fee real estate.
Yeah, fee for real estate. That's what I meant.